The president of Mexico is having a song contest to fight drugs. Residents in Maine discover Easter eggs containing white supremacist propaganda. And Oxford academics drank wine from the skull of a slave woman. These are the weird stories on Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast recorded by a comedian inside a closet. Yep. The president of Mexico is organizing a song contest to fight the cartels. Sounds to me like this is a great plan. Totally gonna work. Use music to fight the cartels. We got Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum. I've covered her on the show before. She's the Jewish Mexican president. And I imagine she talks like this. Oh, I tell ya, these cartels, they're just annoying me lately. What about a song contest, eh? Oy vey, I wish they'd go away. Oh, you see, I'm writing a song right now. Okay, so let's break down Claudia's plan. She's announced a song contest in an effort to counter what are called narco corridos. These are songs that glorify the cartel culture in the country. They're like love ballads celebrating the cartel. Now, the contest that she's holding is called Mexico Canta, which means Mexico Sings. Its motto being, quote, for peace and against addictions. Well, as the late, great Terence McKenna used to say, the purpose of art is to transform the soul of mankind. I don't know if you can fight the cartels, though, with art. It just seems... they may be the most evil individuals walking the planet right now, the Mexican cartels. All I'm saying is, you probably don't bring a song to a gunfight. Back to President Sheinbaum. She promoted her contest in a video, saying, you probably heard this musical genre. They're called corridos. Many of them feature content referencing violence, drugs. They speak poorly about women. That's why this initiative called Mexico Canta comes up. If you're a singer, have a group, or a solo artist, sign in. Many companies participate, both from Mexico and the U.S. They can be songs about love, despair, Mexico, many other contents. Well, there you go, guys. If you happen to, own an accordion, you can sing anti-drug songs, anti-cartel songs, and enter the contest. I don't know if you'd want to win the contest because you're probably going to have a target on your head by the cartel if you win this contest. I'd imagine anybody entering the contest is at risk. They don't screw around down there. The cartel might just take you out before you even finish writing your song. Do not sniff what the cartel sells. Whoa, the cartel is so bad. The cartel is so dumb. Baby, you don't have to live like the cartel does. Don't have to live like the cartel does. Did you guys enjoy the Tom Petty one at the end? That was my favorite one. Somewhere, somehow, somebody must have chopped off your head some. All right, I got some more information about the contest if you want to enter it. The songs are supposed to be up to 3 minutes long and can be both originals and cover songs. Oh, okay. Never gonna do them drugs, never gonna sell them guns, never gonna run around with the cartel. Now, participants can send their songs in between April 28th and May 30th. So, Cartel's going to be pretty busy collecting names. Do you want to put your real name on that one? Huh? I wouldn't. Now, the article mentions the challenge of this is that narco corrido songs are pretty popular in Mexico. It could be they're popular because they're actually good, or because people are... Maybe they're not even that good, but people are afraid to say otherwise because... These songs are celebrating the cartel. An episode took place last weekend, in fact, when hundreds of narco corrido fans attended Luis Conriquez's concert in the city of Texcoco, which is 15 miles outside of Mexico City. When Luis informed the attendees that he would not be performing any narco corrido or narco-related music due to a government ban, the crowd responded violently. Conriquez is mostly known for singing songs related to the Sinaloa cartel. He tried to calm the crowd by empathizing with their disappointment, but he said, "It's the law, and it must be respected." Despite the artist's efforts to continue with the show, Conriquez and his crew were actually escorted out of the venue for safety. Now, those opposing the narcorrido bans, which are already in effect in states including Baja California, Chihuahua, Nayarit, they argue that they violate freedom of speech. Many artists have also defended the controversial genre, suggesting it reflects the reality of many Mexicans. While some songs glorify drug lords and the narco lifestyle, others criticize the Mexican government. Yeah, naturally, because music, it's a reflection of our times, man. Music from the streets, it's reflecting the people. I don't know why I went into Bob Dylan there. Oh, that'd be another one I could do. Once upon a time, you bought our guns, you did our drugs, but then you wrote some songs against us, didn't you? All right, enough fun with the music. I could go all day. I could have done a Billy Corgan too. Today's the greatest day to say no to drugs. All right. I'll stop. I got to wrap up this. We're at 6 minutes here. What's our take on this? Is this going to work? Probably not. Silly idea. And way too reactive. You have to be proactive when you're fighting huge problems. You can't react. You have to proact. I've talked about this on the podcast before. But sadly, our leaders don't recognize this. They're not able to think ahead. They're not able to think. Like, if you really get the smartest people you can, you could probably think like 5 steps ahead of the cartel and plan accordingly. But, you're dealing with dummies here. Like, let's have a song. Yeah, why don't you do a musical as well, like West Side Story, except for with drug dealers? Dancing drug dealers. This is how. Why not? I mean, at this point, it's a farce. Residents in Maine discover Easter eggs containing white supremacist propaganda. It's a very strange tactic of child indoctrination. Putting your white supremacist propaganda in an Easter egg. But there is an egg shortage right now, so maybe this would work. What do you do for an egg right now, guys? Will you wear this hood? Will you tattoo a swastika on your private parts? The story's out of Bangor, Maine, and if you've ever been to Bangor, you can see how this story might flourish. It's just like, I don't think there's any people of color in Bangor, Maine. A couple from Bangor discovered dozens of Easter eggs at a local park that contained flyers spreading white supremacist propaganda. Wow, they didn't deliver them into mailboxes? They just left them in a park? Do you recall the story I covered a few Easters ago where someone was depositing Easter eggs filled with pornographic images in people's mailboxes? I forget where that was in the world. But these lazy white supremacists are just like, let's just leave them in the park. Kids will come and find them. What are the chances an animal's not going to come and eat it in Maine? Pretty small. We have Samuel Woodman and Paige Fairbanks. They must be parents. They were at the park in Bangor on Easter Sunday when one of their children noticed an Easter egg. Woodman says he went to open it and expected to find candy. Instead, he discovered flyers with false statistics targeting black people and a link to a website with anti-Semitic messages. So they were basically filled with Elon Musk tweets, it sounds. They got a quote from one of these parents, one of these Maynards. The Maine accent is so weird. I'll do a bit of it, I think. Let me try anyways. I was disgusted. I was like 100% disgusted because this stuff shouldn't be at a children's park. The Bangor residents took to social media to warn other parents of their findings. Even if these statistics were true, which clearly they are not, that's why somebody would take the time to print these out, fold them up in tiny little Easter eggs, leave them at the kids' parks. All right, I'm kind of butchering this Maine accent. The quote continues, if a parent wasn't here, if a 10-year-old and a 13-year-old is with their siblings and they read them, those minds are very impressionable and could actually believe that those statistics to be true. So I'm glad that I was able to get here before any other kids were able to find that misinformation. I don't know, I think you're overestimating children, sir. They're just like, they're going to open it up, and if there's no candy in it, they're just going to chuck it into the forest, really. They're not going to sit there and read statistics. You do see what it says about non-white people in here? There's some statistics in here. It says this percentage of them is more likely to commit more crimes, and here and this and that. Kids aren't going to continue with that nonsense. I don't know. I don't have kids, but I was a kid. And if I was on an Easter egg hunt and I opened an egg and there wasn't candy inside, I'm going to spend about a millisecond investigating what that is, and then I'm just going to discard it and keep looking for candy. I'm not going to open a piece of paper up. And if I see words inside an Easter egg, there's written words on a piece of paper, that's going to get about a millisecond of my attention, and then I'm moving them on immediately. I'm not going to read it and then bring it to my friends that are also looking for candy. Hey, man, did you see what I found in this one Easter egg? Is it chocolate? No. Who cares? Again, this all comes down to the idiocy of all parties involved. You got the white supremacists who think this is going to work. Then you got the parents who also think this is going to cause their children to join a neo-Nazi disco group. It's just like, does anyone not understand human nature at all except for me? Sometimes I wonder this. I mean, the previous segment I just did, the Mexican president thinks songs are going to lessen the influence of cartels. I mean, is everybody okay out there? I just want to know. Do better. Can you do better? I'm just telling you, just please do better. Not the neo-Nazis. Please don't do better if you're the white supremacists with your terrible marketing tactics. Don't go hire a marketing firm, please. Don't do that. Just keep doing what you're doing. All right, let me wrap up this story out of Maine. One of the parents says, since making a social media post about these flyers, he's received threatening messages and even death threats. Well, if they're on social media, you can report those accounts. Can you not? The police love to solve crime on Facebook, so let them know. They love the Facebook action. Well, let this be a lesson to you all. The white supremacists they're out there. They're out there. They're experimenting with various marketing tactics. No doubt you might be able to find some sort of a Nazi speed dating event in your area. Don't go to that. And be careful of candy-related events as well. I miss the days when I was a kid where the biggest worry about candy from strangers was free drugs. They used to just try to get the kids high. Now they're after their allegiance.
Tax day's always a pain. Next year could be a nightmare. If Congress fails to extend Trump's tax cuts, middle-class families will get hit with a huge tax increase. That means less money for groceries, less money to pay your mortgage, less money for school supplies, and less money for family vacations. A $1,500 tax increase? That's enough to give families the cold sweats. Avoid the nightmare. Save Trump's tax cuts. Learn more at protectprosperity.com. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
Academics at Oxford University drank wine from a human skull. What's wrong with that? You can't drink booze or do bumps off a skull of a dead slave lady? I mean, I'm just tired of this woke crap, guys, is what I'm saying. Can't have any fun anymore. No, this is disgusting. Drinking wine out of the skull of a slave woman at Oxford University, of all places. Well, the Brits have always been very proud of their colonialist ways. They used to say, the sun doesn't set on the British Empire. Yeah. How'd that work out? Okay, back into the details. Do you want the details of these Oxford academics drinking wine from the skull of a slave woman? Shall we keep going? Or it's just going to ruin our day? This all comes from a book, apparently. There's a new book that just came out that said the Oxford academics drank wine from a human skull until as recently as 2015. The chalice had been used regularly at formal dinners at Worcester College, Oxford, according to Professor Dan Hicks, who I assume is the author of this book. This dude is outing the Illuminati over here. You better be careful, Dan Hicks. You might end up dead and they'll be sipping out of your skull eventually. In his new book, Every Monument Will Fall, Hicks alleges that the cup was turned into a dish for chocolates after it began to leak. Yeah, leaking skull. I mean, it's got to be difficult to drink out of a skull. I mean, unless you're using a straw. How do you do it? I don't even know how you do it. I once drank beer out of a shoe, and that was not easy. Jonesy, you drank beer out of a shoe? Yeah, I drank beer out of an Air Jordan. And that was that was initiation into a fraternity. I'm just kidding. Do you think I would try to get into a frat? I've never been the frat boy type ever in my life. No, no, I just drank beer out of a sneaker, just out of fun and boredom. Now Hicks reports that the slave skull was a dish for chocolates until 2019, amid mounting concerns from guests and fellows that visited and saw it. Okay, so they drank out of it until 2015. They ate chocolates out of it until 2019. Some pretty morbid activity going on at Oxford. Yes, I was on the rowing team at Oxford. Yes, I'm not going to lie. Yes, we had a lot of very nice late night dinners and cocktails. That's right. Crippy, do you remember sipping wine out of that skull of a slave girl? Good times, old chap, good times. Now, they got some information about the skull. Carbon dating suggests that it dates back 225 years. Its size and circumstantial evidence pointed to the fact that it most likely came from the head of an enslaved woman from the Caribbean Queen. While the exact identity was impossible to pinpoint, Hicks said the cup's British owner was well documented and known to be that of a eugenicist, George Pitt Rivers, who's a Worcester College alumnus, and his name is inscribed on the skull/chalice after he donated it in 1946. The author was invited by Worcester College to trace the, quote, shameful history of this skull. He said that his book was an attempt to show how colonial rule erased the history of its victims, while those who profited from it are more widely remembered. He writes, quote, the dehumanization and destruction of identities was part of the violence of colonization. Now, a spokesperson for the college said that in the 20th century, the skull was on display with the college's silver collection and used as tableware. Tableware? You mean as a wine cup? As a goblet? The college does not hold records of how often this was the case, but it was severely limited after 2011, and the vessel was completely removed 10 years ago. Well, I mean, according to the author, they were drinking out of it as late as 2015, so... Drinking out of a skull of your victim sounds very cartel-like. Wonder if there's a narco corrido about this somewhere. We should probably put out a song that's about how you shouldn't drink wine or booze out of the skull of a dead slave woman. That way people don't do it anymore, you know what I mean? I'm just thinking about how I can make the world a better place through song. Yes, I want to sing. No, right, no singing. All right, enough of that. Anybody get that Monty Python reference right there? All right, let's wrap up this story with a little anecdote I'll share with you. A long, long time ago, a weird stand-up comedian, I think I can talk about this now, but a weird stand-up comedian who will not be named showed me on his phone photos of a couple of shrunken heads that he had smuggled into the U.S. from somewhere in, I think, Africa. I'm not sure. He got a hold of these shrunken heads, and he told me too. He goes, "This is highly illegal. Don't tell anybody or that I did this." I thought that was very odd. They were cool looking, weird, right? I assume they were real, the way he was acting, and he's such a weird guy. But I mean, I tolerated him because he was kind of funny and. He smoked me up, so if you smoke me up, I'll tolerate you confessing your illegal activities for a bit. No worries, guys, though. All of these crimes will go away if we just write some more songs about not doing the crimes and how bad they are. Icky. How crime is icky. And I'll never buy a shrunken head. Contraband that's so illegal. Though it's easy to buy shrunken heads on the Facebook marketplace.
Oh, Pod Daddy.
The NBA 82 game grind is done, and now the real fun begins. The NBA playoffs are here, and DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered as an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Make it a playoff run to remember with DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code FIELDGOAL. That's code FIELDGOAL for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Good luck with your life, man.
Well, that episode was one for the books, eh, my friends? That was one of the craziest episodes of Weird AF News I ever did. So much singing in there. I didn't think I'd be doing all that singing, but man. And then we all tied it all together. This is a wild episode right here. I don't know what this was. We learned something, though, right? And then maybe you did a little sing-along. Anyways, if you happen to write a song about fighting crime, just feel free to send it on over to me. funnyjones@gmail.com. I'd love to hear it. Love to hear your songs. I'm on Instagram @funnyjones as well. Today is a Thursday, my friends. This week is coming to an end. The weekend is nigh, as they say. I think that means coming. The weekend is coming, and I'm excited about it. It's my birthday weekend. My birthday's April 27th, which is Sunday. So I will be celebrating by playing softball in the afternoon and then probably going out for beers with my softball peeps. Then maybe go out to dinner or something. I don't know. Haven't fully cemented my plans yet. But I would like to do karaoke. That's what is... I usually do karaoke on my birthday. It's kind of been my thing. You know, if I don't have a show, which I do not have a show Sunday night. Anyways, if you guys want to write me a birthday wish or something, you got my email, funnyjones@gmail. Call the show 646-450-2012 if you want to leave me a birthday message. And if you want to buy me a birthday coffee or a beer, go to weirdafnews.com, click on the buy me a coffee, or you can join the Patreon as a birthday present. That'd be cool. You can click on the Patreon banner or go to patreon.com/weirdafnews. Tomorrow being Friday, you know, it's the ever-important Florida Friday upcoming. So if you're new to the show, on Friday I only do weird news from Florida. So if you come across some weird Florida news you think it's appropriate for the episode tomorrow, just email me a link, please. Or slide into my DMs on Instagram @funnyjones. Either one of those is fine. And we'll try and put out the best Florida Friday episode that we can. Very excited about that. We're on a roll, guys. I'm on a roll. Are you on a roll? I'm glad. You taste good on a roll.